So I start reaching out to Max Sold, trying to figure out what the hell is going on, why we're not getting bids, why you guys are charging a fee to bid when you didn't tell us you were going to do that. I'm trying to get some answers from them, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Show me the ads that you put out, because I don't think that you guys actually did it. So they finally show me the ads that they put out. I click on the link from the ad and it goes to their website, their main website, not to any auction site. It goes to their main website. So I think I reached out to them on Thursday originally. I didn't get a response back till Monday. Remember that? And the auction went live on Monday. So I didn't get an answer from them for a week. No, the auction went live on Tuesday, but it was still like a week. Tuesday to Monday, that's a week. So I get an answer on Monday and I go, hey, you didn't advertise our stuff properly. You linked to your website. So people would have to find us through your website in order for your ad to work. And he goes, no, that's not the case. And I'm like, all right, go to the ad and click on the link and then try to find our auction. Go to the ad and try to find our actual auction through that site, through that link. And then he went, oh, it is broken. I'm like, yes, it is. Apparently, this guy had been making that mistake for 6 months because that's how long he had been working there, and he never noticed that this was an issue. So, hooray, I fixed a different company's stuff again. I do it a lot. You'd be surprised. So he said, okay, we'll put out, he's like, at this point, I'll just have the web programmers fix the link, and then, and that way I don't have to post new ads. So I don't trust him at this point, right? I'm thinking I'm getting screwed over here because at this point I basically owe them $700 for nothing. They didn't do anything for me. So I reach out. I check the ads again at around 5:30 that night. I talked to him at like 10 in the morning. 5:30 comes around. All right, did they fix the web links yet? And the ads were deleted. So I reach out to him Tuesday morning to bitch and complain, and he emails me back then saying that he had posted new ones after telling me he wasn't going to. So now I feel like an idiot for not checking for that, but I was pissed. He deleted our ads. He posted new ones, but with 3 days left in our auction. So I asked him like what we can do, because like I feel like I shouldn't have to pay them anything. And basically he told me nothing. He told me that I signed a contract, that I let Max Sold sell it however I wanted, and that was legally binding. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys are terrible at this. But it didn't matter. So he ended up posting ads with 3 days left, not including the weekend, right? Because our auction was going to end on Friday. Our one weekend was wasted because he didn't know how to post. He didn't know how to do his job properly. That's about then that I reached out on Twitter asking if anybody knew anybody that would want our stuff. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably still see that there. It was desperation, and like I didn't get any responses from that because you had to be in the area. Nobody ships. You had to come and pick it up. So like me reaching out to people from the Netherlands doesn't help me all that much. Not in that situation, at least. I love people from the Netherlands. I don't want you guys taking that the wrong way. The Dutch are great. But yeah, I love your ovens. So they, I was kind of in desperation trying to reach out to people. Couldn't get an answer. The day the auction happens, I'm watching that auction live. Like I was there for a half hour watching every single bid because they said the last 15 minutes was when everything was going to happen. It went up about 5%. We ended up selling somewhere around $500 worth of stuff, according to them. They sold, I think, 85 of our 100 lots, over half of the sales went for either $1 or $2. So if you're in the market to buy, Max Sold is probably a great place for you to go. For like $3, $4, you can get furniture, you can get TVs, you can get computers, you can get some nice stuff for like $1 or $2 because they don't know how to advertise. But if you're trying to sell, I'm looking at us selling $500, knowing that they're going to take 30%. And I'm like, at the end of this, I have to owe you $300. And I'm out all my stuff. It would have been better if I got scammed by Mary, who was willing to take our stuff for $250. How is this legal? So the people come out because they have to be there for pickup day, for when all the winners of the auction can come across and come out and pick up our stuff. I'm with them for a good portion of it. Ruby is having a nightmare with that, so I end up in my room with Ruby for most of the pickup. But they end up taking everything, including the thing that we actually had the hardest time getting rid of, which was an old musical organ from the 80s. An organ like a church organ, but electric instead of pipe. And yeah, it's kind of like a piano if you're not familiar, but yeah, it was an organ, and we could not get rid of that to save our lives. We reached out to charities, we reached out to churches, schools, any sort of music program. We reached out to anybody we could. Who wants this fucking organ? And everybody said no. I was like, just take it. It's free. They're like, no, it's fine. It's not worth us coming to pick it up. But Max Sold got rid of it for us. For $1. Somebody bought it for $1. To be fair, we couldn't get rid of it, so we ended up making $1 on it. Well, technically 70 cents. That we wouldn't have gotten if it got donated. But yeah, we ended up getting rid of most of our stuff through Max Sold. But I'm looking at a $300 and something bill at the end of it, because they didn't sell properly, and I'm not meeting their minimum when they didn't advertise. So I talked to the people that were there, and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. This is entirely bullshit. And they're like, oh yeah, this happens sometimes. Like, what the fuck? And you guys still work for them? They're like, yeah, just call your contact and she'll have it written off. So that was on Friday. I call on Monday. And sure enough, she was just like, yeah, I saw that. We'll just go ahead and call it even, and you don't owe us anything. I'm like, fine. So I ended up getting rid of about $5,000 worth of merchandise for free. That was not my goal. It was not at all. But that's what ended up happening, because we got screwed over by not one, but two estate salespeople. I would say what's the odds of that, but it seems like the entire estate sale industry is pretty damn sketchy, if you ask me. We went with people that seemed the most trustworthy out of the bunch, and we still got screwed over. If you're looking at estate sales, I highly recommend that you start really early and that you do it yourself. Just have multiple estate sales. Just put signs out on the road. You'll get so much more money that way. Than trying to deal with some of these people. People don't. When was the last time you looked for garage sales online? Then why would you assume that everybody else is doing it all the time? You know what I mean? That's the way you have to look at it. But I figured that Max Sold had contacts that they would talk to. Nope, they advertised on Craigslist. They told me they would do it on Instagram and YouTube. That never happened. They said Facebook. That never happened. So it was basically Craigslist and estate sales websites. Like, it's not good. I looked up how many people go to those estate sales websites. It's like 100 people a day, and they're nationwide. So what are the chances somebody was in Anaheim going to estatesales.com? You know what I mean? One person in particular bought and was planning to resell our stuff, but she bought over 30 of our lots for $1 each. Keep in mind, of that dollar, we get 70 cents and Max Sold gets 30 cents plus $1.50 in a bidding fee. So they get $1.80 and we get 70 cents. If it's $2, then we get $1.40, right? We get 70%, $1.40. They get 60 cents plus $3 in bidding fees because it took 2 bids. So we get $1.40, they get $3.60. And this happened on over half of the stuff that we were selling. Yeah, I highly recommend not selling with them. But once again, if you're in the market to buy, it is a good chance that you'll get something for really damn cheap, unless it's some collector's item. We were actually the third auction that day. Within an hour. We were the third auction in an hour. That also probably contributed to us being pretty damn cheap, because there's a lot of times when there's only one in a week in certain areas. We were the third in an hour. So there's a lot of reasons why ours could have been lower than everybody else, but I would still highly recommend not selling with them. You're better off going somewhere else, anywhere else at this point. Just do it yourself. Just reach out to people, see if they want to buy stuff from you directly and haggle with them. So we got rid of most of our stuff after 2 rounds of estate sales. Most of our stuff went for very cheap. We're talking glass tables. We're talking armoires, a wooden antique armoire. We're talking a giant TV stand. I think it's called a credenza officially. All of those went for $1 each. The biggest seller was a tub of video games that I was selling because I had no interest in using those anymore. They went for like $57, but that was probably less than $1 per game that I had in there. I was dumping a lot of stuff. Like we sold quilts for like $10. That was another big one. We sold religious stuff, whatever. Either way, we had most of our stuff gone, but they couldn't sell our couches. We had 3 couches we were trying to sell. They couldn't sell any of them. We couldn't get rid of a rocking chair. We couldn't get rid of a large armoire, like a large wooden armoire. It didn't sell at all. A couple stuff nobody came to pick up. In that case, we got to keep their money and then try to sell it anyway. So I'm left with all this stuff. Keep in mind, I have a place in Portland at this point, but I don't have a job, and neither does Hannah. I didn't talk about it too much, but yeah, everywhere she went, either it was, we'll get back to you, or we don't think you're a right fit, which was insane to me that they were saying that to her. She was overqualified for at least half the job she was applying for, and maybe that was it, but it wasn't so overqualified that they shouldn't give it to her. But yeah, that was crazy to me that neither one of us have jobs at this point. We have a place, so now I have another bill, and I don't have a way to pay it, really. I mean, I have money saved up, but, let's be honest, I don't want to dip into my savings for thousands and thousands of dollars so that I can pay bills because I can't get a job. Like, that's not a good place for me to be. Anyway, we still have this stuff. I'm starting to put it on Craigslist. So I put ads on Craigslist. I put a reasonable amount of money, assuming that people were going to haggle me down from it. And I don't hear back from anything. So I go onto Craigslist and I look at the furniture for sale, the furniture for sale section. And it turns out that Craigslist is so popular in Orange County, because it's an Orange County Craigslist, that within 15 minutes, my ad is no longer on the front page. Within 15 minutes, it is difficult to find what I posted. Keep in mind, I tried to post the Max Sold auction there as well. I think I did it twice. I posted several different ads. And as far as I could tell, it didn't really work. because we ended up only getting 27 total bidders. And it turned out that 4 of them worked for Max Sold. So they only reached 23 people in a city of 300,000, let alone the neighboring cities. It probably adds up to over 1 million people, and they reached 26 of them. Like, it's insane how bad they were at that job. Oh, I forgot to point out, the people that ended up taking the organ, they came to our house tweaked out. They were on meth. I don't know how it, like, even to the point that the Max Sold people were like, we really should not allow these people to bid on our stuff anymore. But yeah, they came pretty tweaked out. He came, she came and then left, tried to get a truck to put it in. Apparently got into a car accident, and he was like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. I'm like, I'm sorry, you knew she was going to get into a car accident? So the auction ended at 3:30. The Max Sold people left at 4 or 4:30. I think it was 4:30, because they waited for these tweaked out people to make it out of the house and recommended that we lock everything as they left. They're like, we can't stay any longer. They're out of the house. I'd recommend locking the doors. It took them 3 hours, these tweaked out people, 3 hours to put the organ onto the truck. It was insane how long it took for these people to get out of our place. The pickup started at noon. They showed up at 3. They left at 6:30 when my mom went out and said, having any trouble? And they said, no, we got it. They're like, oh, I wonder what time it is. Oh, it's 6:47. Oh, how the time flies. And they finally got the organ onto the truck and drove off. And that was not a good day. Oh, we also couldn't sell rugs. I forgot about that. We also had rugs. So anyways, I post those ads on Craigslist. I don't hear anything back. Craigslist is not an effective way to sell things in Orange County. I don't know what is, because nothing we seem to have tried worked. Maybe Facebook Marketplace is the way to go. I've heard good things about that. I don't have a Facebook, so I couldn't tell you. But Craigslist definitely does not work. God, how long have I been going? Like an hour and a half, huh? I told you it was a long story. I still got a ways to go. We haven't even moved yet. We haven't even packed up. So we still need to get the stuff out of our house, right? For the record, my all the stuff that I was taking with us up to Portland was either in our room or in the garage at this point, which was why we need to get all the stuff out of the rest of the house so that we could, use the stuff that we wanted that was in the garage or in our room, out in the regular room, out in the rest of the house. So we, what ended up happening? Right. So we tried Craigslist. I put a price on it. Couldn't get rid of it. I said, Hannah, why don't you give it a shot? Because apparently I must have said something wrong, or I put too high of a price. And she was just like, well, we just put it for free. And I'm like, fine, just get it out of the house. So she posts it for free. Still no answers. I swear, still no answers on that. So I post, so then I start reaching out to charities. The only one that'll come pick up is Habitat for Humanity. They do great work. I have no problem with Habitat for Humanity. It's just that they were not the first thing that came to mind because, I don't think of Habitat for Humanity as a donation center. I tried Goodwill. I tried Salvation Army. I tried United Way. None of them worked. And finally somebody said, well, have you tried Habitat for Humanity? And so I reached out to them and they said, sure, we'll come pick up furniture. We just have to inspect it first. And I'm like, all right. So I'm there with them. They end up taking all 3 of our couches, 2 end tables, the armoire, but they refused to take a rocking chair that we had. It was an upholstered cloth rocking chair because they found a molted bug shell on it, right? So like a bug molted and left the shell on the chair. And they're like, yep, we can't take it if it's in this condition. I'm like, you found one. You're telling me if I had flicked that off this morning, you would have been fine with it? Like, probably, but we saw it. Like, shit. Like, I didn't think it was like under a flap. I didn't inspect the thing. I figured it was fine. So they wouldn't take that, but they took everything else. Those guys, I don't know how they did their job, because I've done some moving these days, and it's not easy what they did. They had back braces. They were pretty built guys, but still, I was like, I don't know how you guys are moving 3 couches and all this kind of stuff, even with the movers. Just, I don't know. But anyway, they give me some paper. I sign it, and I take it on my way. Meanwhile, my mom and my sister get home. My sister's out visiting. They pull in, and it turns out that one of the Habitat for Humanity guys left a note hitting on my sister, like in the mailbox for her after he left. Super creepy, right? But yeah, that happened. When was that? That was on May 30th. We're getting real close to the move. I still have the paperwork in front of me because it's not fully settled in here. So that was what was gone there. The things that they would not take. Oh, they also took a bed frame. They wouldn't take the mattress, right, that we were trying to get rid of. They wouldn't take rugs. They wouldn't take a couple loose items. So I ended up donating to Goodwill over the course of like 3 days, taking all this stuff over to the local Goodwill. I did it on Memorial Day. That was the first day. They didn't post that they had different hours, so I drove out there only to find out that they were closed the second time I showed up that day. But I ended up going, I think, a total of 4 or 5 times to Goodwill to just drop stuff off. And they kept on telling us no to certain things because they also don't take rugs. At least they take like mats and small rugs, like the size of a welcome mat. But they won't take like a Persian rug size thing, an area rug. Nope, just no. I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do with it. They're like, call the trash people to take it. And I'm like, all right. So I call trash people. I think it's Waste Management or MG Disposal or whatever they are. Republic Services. There we go. That's who it is. They do Anaheim. So I call them up and I let them know we have a mattress, we have a box spring, we have 2 rugs. And they're like, no, I told them we had a mattress and a box spring. And they go, okay, you're allowed to do this 3 times a year and we won't charge you. And I'm like, okay. So then that's when I went to Goodwill with the rugs and they're like, we won't take them. So I come back with the rugs and I have to call the trash company again. And I had to tell them, okay, let's add 2 rugs to that. That's when I found out then I found out that Habitat for Humanity wouldn't take the chair. So I called them up again. I'm like, all right, let's just add like 3 chairs to it. Because we also had some plastic ones that we couldn't get rid of. And they're like, okay. I talked to different people every time, so it wasn't an issue, but I still felt bad about it.